I'm going to quote another one of our forum posters here. This is Quang Tran, who wants to know what your favorite Phil scene is. His is the kidney stones scene because he says he laughs endlessly rewinding his TiVo to watch it over and over.
Well, I'm glad. I did love shooting that scene. I mean, that was an incredible amount of fun. That's a true story from one of our writers, Danny Zucker, as most of the stories on the show come directly from our writers' lives and sometimes from our lives. That one was a blast. I really enjoy the stuff that's, that I like doing all of it, and I really enjoyed the physical stuff as well. I actually just met Dick Van Dyke this past weekend and said, gosh, you were a physical comedy hero of mine, seeing reruns of, you tripping over the ottoman. And he put his hand on my shoulder and said, we got to keep it alive, And I was like, yeah. It was like, a call to arms. But yeah, that was definitely one of them. There have been so many that I get to do the silliest, most wonderful things on the show. I loved that one. I loved the Valentine's episode with Julie getting to do kind of the role playing in the bar and just almost too many. I just have too many fond memories already just from season one.
Let's talk about the controversial iPad episode, which is controversial because some people were asking online, was this product placement, or was it the opposite, and that is, in other words, were you guys shilling for iPad, or were you screwed by Apple? In other words, there's some speculation as you guys probably didn't even get a free iPad out of Steve Jobs.
Well, it definitely got more of a reaction, I think, than anybody thought. My understanding was that it was a storyline that we needed kind of whatever was the most, kind of newest technology to fit the bill in the storyline. But it's funny how that is. Especially I think with the internet, it's incredible how those things sort of catch fire. And
right.
We were like, it was so funny when all that happened the next week. We were like, oh yeah, I guess I did kind of look like product placement. It was so secondary to us. But
Jake221 wants to know, do you know someone like Phil in real life?
Yeah, I do. I know a few people that I've kind of like roughly based the character on. Certainly myself, is in there somewhere. Not as much as when I first started playing the part. I thought I was kind of more of Phil than I actually am. I'm a little too neurotic to be Phil and his
Phil's pretty
blank.
neurotic.
No, not in my opinion. I
Really?
think Phil is really a blank canvas in a wonderful way, like a sweet Labrador or something. Just a very, very simple, well-intended guy.
I mean, neurotic in the case of, for instance, the iPad episode, right, where he's wants this so badly for his birthday and he's not getting it, and he gets more and more neurotic and crazy, and of course this whole storyline spins out of control while the family's doing everything they can to get it. So I'm talking about that kind of neuroses. I mean, he really wants validation from his family and the love of his family.
Until he kind of short circuits.
Right.
Yeah. That was an incredibly funny sort of arc to play.
So let's get back to a point you mentioned earlier, and that is this pride that Modern Family has in the fact that it portrays a gay couple as ordinary and nothing exceptional. Gay websites online are furious with you because they don't believe you're doing that at all. They say you have a double standard, and there's this outcry, when are you going to let these guys kiss like all the heterosexual couples get to do on Modern Family? Now, as I understand it, the producers have taken this criticism to heart, and that there may be some development in the next season.
I think I would say a couple of things about that. One, I think that that's incorrect. I think that we're the only couple that kisses on the show. Jay and Gloria have never kissed that I know of. And I think that those two couples are very, very representative of the personalities of the two couples more than they are about the sexuality of the two couples. I think it's interesting that nobody has brought that up about Jay and Gloria not having kissed yet. I think that they have, from the beginning, kind of had a little bit of an arc planned for all three couples, basically. Not too elaborate because it's a sitcom. Obviously, it's not Lost, but yeah, I do think that they have their vision of sort of like how they want to let people into our lives, essentially, and I think that's that the way in which Mitch and Cam show their affection to one another or don't show their affection to one another, I think is very telling about their characters, and I think I do think we'll learn more and more about that. As far as like setting up a kiss, I really doubt that the writers will do that. That doesn't.
Well, they're hinting very strongly that they are going to do it in season 2, but they won't.
I'm sure they will. I'm sure they will. I just don't think it'll be. Just knowing the show, I don't think it'll have much of a frame around it. Let's put it that way. I don't think we'll have a very special episode of Modern Family. I think it'll come basically naturally and in the way that they had kind of envisioned in the first place. I think more of, from what I understand, they're just trying to let people I don't know what the word is, just sort of relax and know that they're not trying to, they don't have an agenda as far as like trying not to show the couple as anything other than two real characters. But I do think that that stuff, if we're lucky enough to be on the air for a long time, then I think they'll go through all the paces of any normal couple.
Why do you think this show caught fire the way it did? It was extraordinary. Right from the beginning, after episode 1, 2, 3, boom, the buzz was everywhere, and now there are many, many award gurus, myself included, who think you can actually win Best Comedy Series for your first season. That's extraordinary.
Wow.
Everybody Loves Raymond wasn't even nominated for its first season. It went on to win twice. So you guys are not only on the map, you're almost in that front runner position. Why do you think that is?
I mean, I'll start by saying it's the writing. I mean, which I really believe. We're all lucky, so lucky to be in this vehicle that carries us along week to week. I'm just amazed at watching the show, at how well it's constructed, and I would say the element of heart. I think that's another big part of it. People, I think, are really responding to the fact that this family is trying. The family's really trying. It may not be going well, but they are actually really trying. And I think that's I think it was one of the first things I learned in acting and theater. Is that, and it might even, this is probably pretentious, but it might even go all the way back to Aristotle about that a character, you have to find the positive intention behind a character. What is, people think they're doing the right thing. People deeply believe that they're doing the right thing even when they're screwing up, and you have to really find that. And I think as writers they have. But then I would add into maybe that there's a little bit of a perfect storm, it seems like, that's happening with the show, that all that incredible writing and then as well as the direction and the way that the show is put together. Jason Weiner, our primary director, has really set the tone for a very sophisticated sort of format that I think takes a lot of pressure off of jokes, and brilliant editing, and then hopefully we as a cast were holding up our end of the bargain as well. But I think there's just a lot of things that went right, which it does seem like there has to be a lot of things that have to go right even just to stay on the air. But we've been just lucky enough to have a lot go right to do well, and to also, I think, feel really good about the show.